Well, good morning. I want to take some time here this morning to make a video about these Schwintek slide outs. Now here's a voltage trailer, 37 footer. It's got this big slide out. It's got Schwintek mechanisms on it, and you can see this one's got 3 tracks, one at the bottom, one in the middle, one at the top. And alongside here you can see on this frame there's a bracket right there that's got the screws in it. This right here, that's got that holds the gear mechanisms and the shaft that goes down, up and down to control the slide out. The motor is at the top, and the motor sets in the wall. The key thing to know is there's a screw right there. That screw, you can see it's near the top. That screw holds the motor in place and has to be removed before you go inside to take out the motor, or to remove the motor and replace it. So we're going to walk around here and look at this. We'll go inside here in just a minute. I want to grab this coupling. This coupling right here is the coupling that goes between the motor and the shaft. Fits on top of the motor. You can see there's a slot there, controls the motor, and then this one right here has got a spline on it that goes down over the shaft that goes up and down on the side of the slide out. So let's go inside the trailer. We'll do some looking in here. Now there's 2 motors, or 2 different kind of motors. There's the original motor. The original motor's got a black top. See the black plastic top, the wires coming out of it. And the newer motors, called a high torque motor, have a clear plastic top. Now, when you buy a part now for a Schwintek slide out from Lippert, they're going to furnish you, and the part number is the same on both of these, but the high torque motor will be the one they'll supply you. Now you can see on the bottom of the motor that there's, of course, the shaft, and it's got a flat spot on it, and this coupling fits over that and goes, turn it here a little bit, okay, it goes up on, slides onto the motor. You can see it here where it's slid on, and then the bottom of it goes onto the shaft that runs down, runs the slide out. These 4 Allen screws here are sticking out, and they go in and lock into the fixture on top. They have to lock in and secure the motor from turning. Then you put the screw in from the outside that will go in right here. That screw that I showed you on the outside comes in right here from the outside, and it locks the motor from turning further. Then you got the cable here, and it just plugs into the cable on the coming up from the slide out controller. Now, this slide out is about 2/3 of the way in, which makes it nice. I don't have to take the trim off to get to the motor, but here's the motor right here. You can see the motor in the top here. Get a good picture of it here. But there's the motor. You can see the wires coming off here. The motor is in position. It's still wiggling around, but it won't turn. Now, the good thing about this is that I found out yesterday is that in aligning the motor, you can't, it has a lot of gears. It's a high torque motor. It's hard to move anything. And I have this little DeWalt 18-volt drill motor or battery, and I've got it wired up here, where I've got 2 jumper wires in the top here. You can see them right there, and that goes. I have that tied into this Schwintek motor cable, and I've got the clip that goes on the controller here, and I pulled the black and red wire out. I tapped into the black and red wire in the controller. That's what controls the motor. And I've got these two little bare wires. I can just hook my jumper wires. Then I can swap wires if I need to change the direction of the motor to light it up. So what I did was I plugged this in, hooked it up to my little drill motor, then I turned it enough to get it to drop into place down there in the socket. You can see the socket at the bottom. Down here is the socket. And then I didn't have the little Allen screws lined up, but as I shook the slide, I just jerked the slide out by hand here, and that was enough, moving that slide out, and then the motor just dropped into place, which I was very happy about that. So here's the plug. So we're plugged in, and now I'm going to align this. I'm going to take a tape measure, and I'm going to measure both sides of the slide out, and I will set this motor. I'll just run this motor on this side and equalize the distance before I hook it back into the complete harness and hook it up to the slide out controller, which is up under the bay in front. So anyway, that's a quick deal. I'll probably make another video or two, but these motors are quite easy to replace. Once you get to this point, you got to peel this down. You know, this is all trim and seals, and this all have to go back in place. And this cable comes up through this piece of trim right here. You can see the cable comes from the controllers in this piece of trim. It comes up from down to the bottom and then comes up here and hooks into the top of the motor. So anyway, that's a pretty quick deal on a Schwintek slide out motor. I'm going to put this all back together, hook it up, and hope it works.